Hello everyone. In this talk, I will present you about UI5 tooling extensions and how can you develop them. Uh, this is based on my experience with a task we will talk about. So let's get going. So we will talk about the general concept and custom extension ideas and development. We will get into technical details and also an important part for publishing is being sure that the extension works as intended. So testing and publishing options about the extension. So what is UI5 tooling? It's a modern terminal-based development experience for UI5. Basically, you can do everything with an text editor like Notepad and console, and you don't need anything else. And you can leverage the node.js environment, node.js libraries, and ecosystem. So one thing is Volker Pusek has a session today. So if you are interested, don't miss the session. And about this topic, Pattern Music has a community call and a blog post which goes into details. So you should also read those two. So ideas. My experience was internationalization files. So I developed an extension for that. So I think the best ideas comes from your own experience. Like you should look at your own workflow, what tools are missing, and which tasks you are doing manually again and again. And you can also have a look at the current UI5 tooling extensions. We will also see those. And also you can get inspired by other frameworks. So current tasks, you can see there are 5 tasks in the community repository, and one is my own extension, internationalization check, and it checks the XML views with internationalization files, property files. So this extension only doesn't change anything in the project. It only checks before building. And another extension is string replacer, and it replaces placeholder strings. So if you have different API endpoints for development environments or production environments, you can just put a placeholder string, and based on the environment variables, it will replace those values to production API endpoint or development API endpoint. So this task, as an example, changes the files itself. And there's another extension I'd like to talk about, and it's zipper. And it bundles the entire application as a zip. So this one also generates an side artifact. So you can see different types of tasks you can create. And tasks are more about build time. There is also another type of extension, which is middleware. And here you can see the examples like serving static resources and leave reload for development. So these are more about development, and these will work with watch command, for example. So you can get an idea from the current extensions. Okay, so you have an idea, and where you can start. You can think about the package name. For every project, choosing a name is the fun part. But you don't have to do it at the start. And you can also get advice from the community, or you can open an issue, or you can develop the extension with an placeholder name, and you can change it in the pull requests also later. And so the file on the left is an spec file, and it defines the extension. For example, UI5 middleware leave reload. And then on the right side, you can see how it's included in the project. So you are developing a UI5 application. You want to use this middleware. You enter this details, custom middleware, and its configuration. So configuration doesn't have a strict format in the code, but you have to think about it. How do you want people to use your extension? What should be the configuration? Is it should it be like array or string, things like this? And yeah, these are the general design. And for the development part, an example task, you can also read these examples in the GitHub repository. And as you can see, there's an spec file, UI5 YAML, and in that spec file, you enter an JavaScript file. So this JavaScript file will be called with an entry function. So this is the E18N check.js file itself. So you can see there's a function. It contains workspace, dependencies, and options. I haven't used dependencies, but workspace and options are very common. Here you should also refer to the UI5 tooling and documentations. I will come to this. For example, logger is here. So if you want to see the whole documentation for logger, you should read the documents. And for file system, UI5 file system, I had to read documents to find out all of the options Workspace has, because you can find out that Workspace is a duplex collection in this library, and then you can find its functions like by glob, or with this you will get resource lists, and you can then learn that you can use getPath or getString. So these are all in the UI5 tooling documentation. For options object, as you can see, this is an flexible object, just a JavaScript object, but you should define some rules around it, and you should document it. In this example, the code looks at the debug parameter, and if it's true, it logs the it logs more information about the process. So this project repository comes with many packages. This is because it's Lerna is used, and it supports workspaces, and it ensures this structure ensures all libraries are compatible, so you can just build them at one point and you can just test them together. You don't have to know too much about Lerna, but it's a nice information. Okay, so code conventions. You can also read previous pull requests for code conventions. In general, you should use ES6 style JavaScript, use let and use arrow functions, await and promise based async code where possible. You should catch exceptions, and you should use UI5 logger. And you can start with an existing task, and you can use that as a template and change the core algorithm parts. Okay, testing. This information was missing, and I'll also blog about this. And you have developed the task, and you want to test it. You want to know whether it's working or not. The best way to do it, in my opinion, is using the UI5 app package that's already in the repository, and add your task middleware in it, and then you can just, if it's a task, you can just use yarn command, yarn build, and for middleware you can use yarn development. And here I haven't included this in the Git commits, but yeah, to keep them clean. In general, the important thing is end result in the Git commit. Sure, you should write good messages, but if you are contributing to the community repository, in the end, the commits will be merged and there will be only one commit. So for publishing, you have two options. You can create your own repository, and you can also publish to NPM on your own. Or you can create a pull request to the community repository. So for community repository, there are advantages. Your package will be checked for compatibility also in the future, and Peter and Volker do great reviews, and your code will be better. You will learn a thing or two in the process, and you can find the repository link below, and you can also search. But if you go with your own package, you should name it like UI5-task or middleware, so that people can find your package. That's all from me today. So thank you for listening, and special thanks to online track organizers. I think there may be
Great. Thanks.
question and answers.
I don't see any questions.
So everything clear?
Yeah, I think so. You're going to get a lot of contributions from the community.
Perfect. Then we can continue in the on-track channels in Discord, I think. If people, on conference channel 1, if people have any question, you can write there. And I will also publish a blog post about this process. So thanks everyone.
Okay, so we need to announce the winner of the Rafale. I'm trying to get this spinning wheel ready. I hope everybody can see the screen. And these are the participants. Let's give it a shuffle. Give it a spin. And the winner is Christian. Congratulations, Christian.
Congratulations.
Fatih, do you have any questions or any other statements or closing statements from your side?
It was a privilege to talk at the SAP online track. So thanks everyone for listening. Thanks especially to the organizers who are working hard, and they will work hard for 2 days. So thanks everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone. I think there's been a lot of activity and build up. It's been a great team effort. Okay, thank you. I think we will close the call. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye bye.